What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Political Pegasus here, bringing it back to you guys in Remnant from the Ashes, and today we'll be taking an all-new look at my Chicago World Raider build. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the build's going to be as followed. My handgun, I'm using the submachine gun. For the weapon mod attached onto it, I'm using Iron Sentinel. For the long gun, I'm using the Chicago Typewriter, attached onto his weapon mod known as Explosive Shot. For the melee weapon, I'm using World Breaker. For the armor, I'm using the Raider helmet, the Raider armor, and the Raider boots for the whole armor set. This set is skinned. It is originally the Scavenger set. From there, I'm using the Scavenger bubble for the necklace. I'm using the Blood Font ring for my first ring, and the second ring I'm using Scavenger's ring. Now, on to traits. Now, I've mentioned before in a lot of my previous videos at the end of the day that a lot of the traits conspire to go about being into each and every build I happen to go about doing. However, there is no set cap limit for this particular game, so I recommend utilizing every trait within the course of the game, just being able to capitalize on your overall build and the grand scheme of things. However, if you do need a foundation to start, I got you. So the first three mods I'd recommend starting out with when it comes to this particular build are going to be as follows. So from here, I would get Swiftness, movement speed increased by 15%. Then I would go for this guy, which increases healing efficiency by 100%. Not going to try to pronounce it. This guy, Scavenger, which scrap boost plus 35%. So those are the three I would start out with, but once again, I'd try to focus on getting each and every trait within the course of the game, because why not? There's no cap limit, and it won't hurt. It would only make your build that much better. So, enough about that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. Alright, so we're here in Sunken Passage on Earth on Nightmare mode, and today we'll be taking a look at the build breakdown of my thoughts, ideas, and why I did what I did. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So one of the main reasons I ended up picking up the Chicago Typewriter for this particular build is because I thought it fit the theme for the build really, really well. I was going for more of a rustic, nostalgia type of look, and I think it ended up playing out just fine. With that being said, I like the Typewriter because it can also deal really nice close range damage and really nice mid-range damage to be able to deal with those crowded of enemies, or that one single target you have to burst down, whether it be like an elite or whether it be a boss. So it works out really well, and I think the mod tied into it works out even better to cause those massive groups of explosions, as well as being able to apply the burn damage to the target if they don't die from the explosion. So it all just synergizes really nice. I like the submachine gun as my secondary too, because it does tie into the theme of the whole build that I was kind of going for, with this whole metal futuristic nostalgia kind of look to it. From there, it also is really good at dealing with smaller combatants, and it also is a lot better at dealing with close range combatants as well, so that way you don't end up getting overrun and you don't feel as though that you're taking on more than you can chew, so to speak. I also like having the Sentinel tied into it too, because again, it ties into the whole theme, but it also allows me to go about dealing with large groups of enemies just fine, as well as being able to mow down elites when you're having 3 guns pointing at one target, so it works out really, really effectively. This build, at the end of the day, because I am using the Scavenger set, it's going to be focused primarily on being able to run around the map, loot really quickly, loot efficiently, not have to worry about your health because you're continuously looting, not having to worry about losing out on any form of downtime because you're looting at the end of the day. Basically, the way the build is specifically designed, it's designed to help you go about playing through the game without worrying about missing anything or losing out on like any form of potential traits you could be picking up, or any form of new items you could be going about getting, or like a new location or a hidden mission, or whatever the case may be. From there, with this particular build, you're not going to miss out on any of it, because you're going to be able to continuously grab resources on the go, heal yourself while doing so, empower yourself while doing so, and just being able to progressively go through the game that much easier, because of the fact that you're utilizing a set that pretty much allows you to go about not only having loot be drawn to you, such as like the scrap that you end up picking up, but it also allows you to go about healing efficiently while doing so, and it also amplifies damage. So at the end of the day, everything just synergizes really nice. You don't really have to worry about anything in that regard. Another cool aspect too is that your necklace, the scavenger bubble, works really well when it comes to being able to supply you with more scrap. So it amplifies not only the money you gain, but as well as your healing potential, because the more scrap you're picking up, the more healing you're receiving. And on top of that, you're also getting a higher chance of picking up more scrap. So in that regard, you're going to be able to bolster your damage output, your survivability, and being able to make you very rich very quickly without really doing too much at all. You're just literally walking by it at the end of the day. So it works out really nice because it doesn't slow you down the slightest, and you can just keep moving as you see fit. Of course, this won't be like the most highest damage dealing build, but it is still fun and unique in the sense of being able to just kind of play throughout the course of the game and not really having to worry about like, oh, I gotta break this, oh, I gotta get money, oh, I have to stop and do this. Like, you don't have to do any of that. You just keep going and you're perfectly fine. Another cool concept is that those crates that you end up finding in the course of these dungeons that you end up picking up are now not only holding money and other valuable resources, but they also are pretty much giant health boxes you can enter, and from there pick up a bunch of loot for, and all the loot you pick up and amplify your damage as well as your survivability, so you don't have to worry about it. So literally you can just save those in the middle of the fight, pick those up, you're that much richer, and now you have more damage and more survivability, so it works out in your favor at the end of the day. Another cool aspect is because we're using Blood Font, you do get like passive health regeneration, not by much, a little bit. The main reason I'm using it is because I wanted to amplify the overall healing that I'm receiving, so I get a lot more healing in the long run, and I don't really have to worry about whether or not me picking up like 5 pieces of scrap is going to heal me back to full. Because by itself, it's a little bit harder to do so unless you're picking up an abundance of scrap, but in some areas you don't have the luxury of doing so, so the Blood Font ring kind of makes up for that. And the scavenger ring alone just makes it that much better at the end of the day when it comes to overall like the ability to heal and so on and so forth. So it all ties in together really nicely. The reason I ended up doing World Breaker for my melee, honestly, just because it looks good. I don't really use the melee too much at the end of the day, but it does tie into the whole theme of the build where it's a little bit more robust, a little bit slower, a little bit clunkier at the end of the day, so everything kind of synergizes quite nicely. So I like it. I think it fits really nice. I don't really have any problems or issues in that regard, but you can always swap that out at your leisure if you feel as though that you want to do something else or whatever the case may be. It's all really for looks at the end of the day when it comes to the melee weapon anyway. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for the build, guys, at the end of the day. If you guys want to go about experiencing looting like a god, then be sure to check this build out and let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. From there, if you guys have any other build ideas or anything else you want me to go about doing, feel free to post it down below. But if you guys want to keep updated on like the latest and greatest content I end up making when it comes to like Remnant for the Ashes or any of the other games I happen to be producing thus far, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button. This way you'll receive all notifications on like the latest and greatest videos I end up putting out and when I put them out, as well as being able to ask me any questions directly down below on my YouTube channel or on my videos in regards to whether it be builds or future content I'm creating at the end of the day. I'd be happy to answer them. I pretty much answer every comment that comes to me, so just let me know. And from there, I'll be happy to get back to you guys if you have any other questions or concerns. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. I'm going to let the video play out in the background here. And yeah, I hope to see you guys real soon. Later.